Alright, you guys, so as you guys may or may not know, at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time in America, Giant Software is going to be revealing Farming Simulator 25. This video that you're watching right now is going to be coming out at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time as well. So as you guys can see here, this is going to probably be the front cover of the game. I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to go through the trailer of the game. I'm going to go through all the pictures and everything that they provided, and I will show you guys exactly everything that you guys will need to know about Farming Simulator 25. So as you guys can see here, we have a Claas tractor in front of us, so this is probably going to be the main page where you load into the game. This is going to have your mod hub, your career, your multiplayer, all of those options where you choose from. That is probably going to be the screen, but it is too early to tell. We are not going to know yet. But by the looks of it, on this home screen or this background, as you guys can see on the tractor's tracks, if you pay really close attention to it, it seems that there's a lot of detail in the water, and that is one thing I noticed. The water in this game looks really detailed. It looks like you can water your plants, you water your fields, and the water looks really realistic being splashed by tractors and stuff like that. So that is one thing I did pay attention to. Also, if you look, there is a bee right to the right of the track that you guys can see, the front right track. There is actually a bumblebee. If you guys can see it, hovering right over the wheat, there's actually a bumblebee. So that is making me curious. Are we bringing pollinators to the game now? Bringing it to a whole nother level? Now if we move on, this is going to be the cinematic trailer thumbnail. So these were provided in us with the email that Giant Software sent us to the Giants partners. So this is going to be your cinematic trailer thumbnails. So I'll be putting a cinematic trailer on my channel as well. You guys are going to be able to see that video. I'm going to be releasing that on my channel, but that will be on multiple other channels that you guys can also watch. So if we move on, this is a clip or another image that was provided, and it's kind of like the first picture that you guys saw, except the FS25 logo was removed and a couple of other things were removed, and it's a slimmer shot. So it is a little bit slimmer of a wider of a shot. So as you guys can see, you can still see the bumblebee. You can still see the splashing of the mud and the water on the tractor's tracks. And in the background, you can see the cattle, which look way more detailed. Now that is just a picture that they provided. We don't know if this is actual gameplay footage or a gameplay screenshot. So it is too early to tell. A lot of this is too early to tell, but we are just going to have to stick around and wait. Maybe Giants will have more information on it tomorrow. I'm currently recording this video a day before they're releasing the information. So we're going to move on. This next image is kind of a plain image. It is a bull eating grass. So maybe the bulls are going to start, bulls, cattle, whatever, calves, are going to start eating grass. Maybe you can put them in pastures, make it a little bit more realistic, not have to feed them TMR, not have to feed them so-and-so, and maybe they'll just eat grass off of the ground, and you'll still have to give them some supplements or other food later on, but this is another image. And the first gameplay images that you guys can see look more realistic, so I really don't notice a whole lot, but the one thing that did catch my eye is if you look by the front where the Fendt logo is, that mesh, it looks like you can almost see an engine in there. So that is making me curious. Is Giant Software bringing working motors and other things, more detail to the tractor, like hitch points or electrical hookup points? Because it looks, if you look right above the PTO connection to the left, it looks like there's a little spot for you to hook up electrical and stuff like that. So this is another image that they provided. It doesn't look too eye-catching or too, you know what I mean, but this is another image. This tractor almost looks like it's from FS22 with a little bit different texturing. So we're going to move on. This is another image that I did want to go over. So this shows a Case IH combine going over what looks to be maybe a wheat field. So as you guys can see here, this wheat or whatever crop this is looks way more realistic than the crops in FS22 as of right now. It looks a lot thicker. If you look where the crop is getting cut, it looks a little bit more realistic. The dust looks a little bit more realistic. And a lot of the plants in the background actually look a lot more realistic, a lot more detailed. It looks like Giants is putting a lot more detail into the surroundings and not as much into the tractors, which I actually really think is really cool. The tractors are pretty perfect in my opinion, and all that is pretty perfect. So it looks like they're kind of putting some more detail into background like grass, trees, the way that the crops move, the way that the crops look, the textures of everything. So we're going to move on. This was another clip that was provided, and this also kind of proves my point about how they're adding more texture into your background, you know, your trees. So if we look here, it looks like you can see this is like horizon. It looks like almost like it's morning, you know, you just woke up. As you guys can see, it is really almost like steamy looking, and I think that adds a lot of detail, and I think that is one thing that we should pay really close attention to. That another thing, the background actually looks really detailed. I think, you know, the grass, the flowers, the rocks, the dirt, the trees, you know, even the clouds, even the water is starting to look really realistic. It looks like they're starting to bring a lot of detail to these things, as you guys can see. So we're going to move on, and here is another image of a tractor. So as you guys can see, again, what kind of proves my point is if you look, you guys can see the radiator on this tractor, and it's making me think that they're going to start putting more animations towards the motor, so maybe you can see the fan spinning off of the radiator or behind the radiator, and it's making me think that they're going to put a lot more detail into, you know, how the tractors actually move. So maybe they're bringing, you know, like if you crash, there's going to be damage. So I think they're bringing a lot more detail into the actual tractors, and not just you're going to hop in the tractor, you're going to connect it, you're going to plow. They're going to put a lot more detail into, you know, hooking up your implement, actually hooking it up, you know, starting your tractor, you know, all of the things that actually make equipment. So I think a lot more of the actual, you know, things that happen on a tractor, or a lot more things that, you know, like, you know, you can see the fan spinning, a lot more detail into the actual running of the tractor, you know, the movements of the tractor and stuff like that. I am kind of just speaking right now. I don't have a script or anything I'm going off of, so I'm kind of just speaking. So I might kind of pause for a second or two. You probably already noticed that. But as you guys can see, there's a lot of detail in this tractor, actually, you know, with all of the points in the engine. If you guys kind of look through this little mesh screen, you guys can see a lot of the nuts and bolts, a lot of the actual wires. I've seen a lot of wires, a lot of electrical points, a lot of hoses. I think they're starting to put a lot of detail into that. As you guys can see, I think it's really making this game look a lot better. So we're going to move on to our next image here. This shows a AI or a player mowing a grass field, probably going to harvest it, you know, as for hay, bales, baling it. You guys know. So the other thing that really caught my eye is, you guys probably know I am big into SEMA trucks, lifted trucks, stuff like that. You guys may not like that, but I'm also into a lot of the lawn care stuff. So as you guys can kind of see here, one thing that I really saw and that I really paid attention to is kind of how I brought up with the wheat in the previous pictures, that it looks a lot thicker, it looks a lot more detailed. You know, maybe the movement of, as you guys can see, this little shield on the front of the mower hitting the grass, coming in contact with the grass, kind of pushing it over, seems a little bit more realistic than any of the other games where it just kind of disappears when you cut it. And as you guys have kind of noticed that, the actual harvest, if you guys look behind the trail of the grass, it does not look very much different than what it looks like in FS22, but if you do look right behind the mower, as you guys can see, this mower is throwing the grass. If you guys can just barely see, if you guys right below the cab, there's going to be right behind the actual mower, it's discharging the grass underneath. And you guys can actually see it looks very realistic the way that it's sending these grass clippings or this hay, as you guys know, all of this stuff being discharged out of the mower actually looks really realistic the way that it's being thrown. So I think that is one thing that I really wanted to pay attention to. I think that is really cool. I think that, again, some of the stuff is really starting to become realistic, you know, some of the stuff that you might not pay more attention to, but I think the discharging of the grass, the actual grass, the way it moves, the way it looks. I think it's really improving with Farming Simulator. So we're going to move on to our next image. And this at the bottom says not actual in-game footage, so I'm not going to speak too much on this picture. But it looks like they're harvesting rice. I don't know much about rice farming, so I don't even know if this is rice farming. I'm just kind of speaking on it. You guys can see there's somebody hiking in the background. So this is another thing that I think Giants is adding detail into, maybe you see the squad, Spencer TV, Austin, they go mudding and stuff like that. So I think Giants might be paying more attention to that. Seeing that these YouTubers are going mudding, they're not just farming. So I think they're expanding on not just farming, but the entire game, making it seem like it's actual real life, So as you guys can see, I already mentioned it, but the girl behind there, or there's actually another man right behind her, it looks like they're going hiking. So maybe they're going to start, you can go hiking in this game. It's going to be like a real life simulator at this point and not just farming simulator. So maybe that means that you can go mudding in this game, more detail. And also another thing that I noticed is the water. So it shows a picture. If we move on, I think it's not this picture, but as you guys can see, the water is starting to look really real. And as you guys will see in the trailer, the guy shows him starting a generator and it starts pumping a bunch of water. And it actually looks very realistic. It looks like if you were actually going to go start a generator and it starts pumping out water out of a hose. It looks very realistic. So I think that's another thing, the textures, like the mud is starting to become more realistic. The water, the way that it flows, the way that stuff like that. The way it was flowing seemed very realistic. So if you move on, we are going to start talking about the actual game and how to get it. So this is going to be the patch and expansion. So the first one is innovative machinery, performance on plains and prairies, the stars align, dive into a new map. And I have already seen some of this. I've already looked at most of these pictures. I do not know exactly what some of this means because as you guys know, I am a SEMA truck YouTuber. I don't really farm in this game. I don't farm at all in this game. Actually, I was told by Spencer TV that the series actually probably wouldn't do very good, so I'm going to take his advice and stay with my SEMA trucks because that's mostly what my fan base is. And if we move on, this is going to show all of the Farming Simulator things. So this is going to show, we're going to start off first with the Farming Simulator Collector's Edition. As you guys read below, it says, start the engines, USB ignition lock plus 2 keys. Plus 16-bit Retro Edition, New Holland CR11 Gold Edition, poster, keychain, and modding tutorials. So I think this USB ignition lockbox come with keys, and it makes it seem almost more realistic, as it says, responds to in-game vehicles. So maybe, you have your desk, and you can actually insert a key and start your engine that way instead of hitting a button on your controller or your keyboard. And if we move on right above that, PC Game and Mac Dawn pack. So this is going to be that mower that you saw earlier. That is a MacDon, I don't know how to say it. Probably MacDon. That's probably what I'm going to call it for now. But that is probably a vehicle that is going to come with this MacDon pack. Moving on, we have Giant Software 16-bit edition, 16-bit video game. I am not 100% sure what that means, so I'm not going to speak on that. But it says by Chris, as you guys know, Chris at Farming Simulator. Most of you guys probably have heard of him. But here's a Farming Simulator keychain. I think that would be really cool, and I maybe myself are really interested in that Farming Simulator keychain. I think that would look pretty cool hanging up next to my PC setup here. And then it comes with a 3xA2 poster. So this, I think, is going to show you all of your crops, how much they're going for, what your yields is. So if you guys can kind of look, again, I don't really farm in this game, so I don't know exactly what some of this stuff is. But if I could guess, it looks like this is your prices. So it's going to predict your crop prices so you know when to sell it and when not to sell it. And if you guys look, this is a big thing for me and my channel. Modding tutorials. As you guys know, I have a couple modding tutorials on my channel. And I think this is actually going to help out a lot. I think it's really smart that Giants came out with this. It's going to show you guys how to mod the basics, coding everything, maybe some work in Blender. I think that is actually a really, really cool addition to Farming Simulator, showing us how to mod. Because I know a lot of people are asking about that. So I think that's a great addition to this game. And then it's 32X brand stickers. So I think you can order stickers. So it's probably going to be some either pictures from the game or actual pictures. You can get stickers of these tractors, these trucks, these planters, mowers, harvesters. You stick them on your PS4 console, stick them on your wall, stick them on your desk, whatever. And if we look, New Holland, right below that, New Holland CR11 Gold Edition. So this might be another pack that comes with a different farming simulator game. So as you get like Platinum Edition, stuff like that. So this might be a different vehicle add-on. So we're going to move on next. This is going to show all of your box. So this is going to be Farming Simulator 22. And it's actually showing 3 of these. So we got 3 pictures. So it looks like these 2 are the same, but maybe these are 2 different boxes. So it just both says Farming Simulator 22 or Farming Simulator 25 Collector's Edition. So it looks the same, but maybe it's a little bit well, actually, it does say rated E for everybody at the bottom left corner, and then this one says a different little bit. So I don't know, maybe there is some different, but if you look, that is going to be on the other side. I think this is European. I think this is the European version. I don't know. It could be the German version. It could be, I don't know what kind of version it is. I am not good with foreign languages or stuff like that. But this is Landwirtschaft Simulator. I don't know exactly how to say that because I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff, but if I could guess, that's how you say it. But let's move on. This is going to be, again, as you guys can see, where it says Landwirtschaft Simulator 25. It is that gloss, as you guys can see, and you can still see the bumblebee. So that's why I'm thinking that this is going to be one of the kind of covers for the game, covers the front cover of the DVD disc, the actual game where you load in, the loading page. And then if you look on the other side, here's a case. So this looks like it's all the MacDon pack games. It says plus Farming Simulator keychain, so it also comes with a keychain bonus. That is pretty cool. Both all have different tractors, so what does that mean? I'm honestly not sure because it all says MacDon pack, so maybe there's different covers you could buy. I'm not sure. I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out. But if we keep going, this is kind of stupid, but this is gonna be all of your logos. So you have the black logo, the green logo, and I think that's really cool because green's really my favorite color. So honestly, I really like the green logo and I really dig it. So this is the logos if any of you guys want to see, but we are not gonna go over this, and we are gonna skip right to the trailer video.
Rated E for everyone.
All around the world, farmers know farming is an art. Like life, we know it can be hard. And it can be surprising, too. But sometimes it's about being at the right place at the right time. A wise man once said that the best lessons are learned under the wide open sky. I think the same thing can be said about our art. Yeah, it can be messy, but it's always beautiful. So beautiful it can help you see yourself and the world in all new ways. In the art of farming, the soil is the canvas, the seeds are the paint, and the harvest is the masterpiece.
Hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Is it missing something? cute to eat. Maybe some fresh spinach for a change?
So it seems that if I put this in full screen, it cuts my recording. So I'm going to have to leave it in not full screen. But you guys will still be able to watch it. So let's play the video.
Rated E for everyone.
So there's what I just noticed as I was trying to show you guys. As you guys can see, this gushing water coming out of this generator or this water pump here, it seems to be really realistic if we watch back. As you guys just saw there, but that is really cool. And another thing that kind of backs up what I was trying to say is this guy is on a dirt bike. So maybe that means that, you know, they're going to start adding more mudding, more dirt bike, you know, kind of stuff like that, off-road stuff into the game and not just farming. So let's continue. So it says footage, not actual gameplay, because, you know, that's not actually footage. But it does look like they're, like, boiling rice here, and I don't really have any interest in rice farming, so we're just going to continue.
All around the world, farmers know farming is an art. Like life, we know it can be hard.
So again, this is what I'm kind of seeing is it looks almost like, this thing looks almost like Jumanji almost, like, you know, if you see trailers, because it looks like they're not even farming. They're out hiking or doing something, as you guys can see. This looks like a heavily wooded area back here. So maybe they're going on a hike. Maybe they're going to have more trails in this game where you can do more things, you know, take breaks from farming, I guess. So we'll continue with the video.
And it can be surprising, too. But sometimes it's about being at the right place at the right time.
So as you guys can see, the waving of the water here also looked very realistic. That's another thing I was trying to point out. Again, right there is my point. It looks like as this guy is running this machine across this flooded looking area, the water is moving with it, which is another really cool thing that just adds so much detail, honestly. Right there, the water is moving, and I think that really adds detail. It's really cool.
A wise man once said,
and maybe realistic rain, as you guys can you just saw right there, because as you guys can kind of tell, the rain right now isn't very realistic, so maybe this new rain might be a little bit more realistic.
that the best lessons are learned under the wide open sky. I think the same thing can be said about our art. Yeah, it can
There's the
be
water
messy,
again.
but it's always
There's
beautiful.
more realistic water. That looks very realistic.
So beautiful it can help you see yourself
There's
and
more
the
dirt
world
bike
in
footage.
all new ways.
That's really cool. Maybe even more, as I just kind of showed, maybe even more realistic. As you guys can see, the grass grows. As you guys know, in Farming Simulator right now, it kind of is in stages. So it'll go from a short stage, and then boom, it'll magically just shoot up a foot overnight. And then, so maybe it's a little bit more realistic growing. Maybe it'll take, you know, it'll slowly kind of grow.
In the art of farming, the soil is the canvas, the seeds are the paint, and the harvest is the masterpiece.
So you guys already saw this part of the trailer. I don't have anything to do with rice farming, so I don't even need to really comment on this because I don't have anything that I need to say about rice farming, because this is kind of showing the rice farming segment part, I guess. You guys already saw if you're still watching the full trailer already. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to a different page and outro. So now comes the outro. I appreciate you guys watching to the end. I am very curious to see how Farming Simulator evolves from FS17 to FS19 to 22 to FS25. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for this game and how much more realistic it's going to be, because I can tell you guys, as a Giants partner, I am definitely hyped for this new game. I cannot wait to see. It looks so much more realistic for what I'm doing, you know, like my mudding videos. It looks way more realistic, my lawn care videos, etc. But with that being said, I hope you guys hit the subscribe button, because I cannot wait to post more Future Farming Simulator content on here. More updates on this game and actually playing the game. I cannot wait for that, because there's a chance I'm able to get it early because I'm a Giants partner. I don't know. I haven't been a Giants partner. I haven't even gotten my plaque yet. I'm supposed to be getting my plaque here soon, and I'll show you guys that on my channel. So yeah. With that being said, I cannot wait to see what Giants Software has in store for the game. And if you guys have any questions, comments, comment down below. I love to read through your comments. And I will see you guys in hopefully the next video, maybe another reveal video, but probably another regular Farming Simulator video. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Love you. Bye.